The NeMo is basically a simplified, lighter, and cheaper version of the AMOS. Taking its name from the new mortar, this 120mm mortar turret had an unfortunate beginning, but the 2020s have brought it luck. The time to come seems much luckier. As a weapon detective, we're now investigating the NeMo, modern suppressive fire for future armies. The NeMo is less advantageous than the AMOS, which ironically makes it more advantageous. Like many other wonder weapons, the original Finnish Swedish mortar is good, really good, or even too good. Nevertheless, the NeMo, which offers half the firepower, has its own benefits, such as being less complex and less expensive. When Hägglund's vehicle of Sweden and Patria NeMo of Finland signed an agreement in June 1996 to jointly develop the AMOS as a private venture, they were optimistic about the product. It would be suitable for meeting Nordic operational requirements and for mounting on existing armored vehicles. As expected, Denmark and Norway immediately expressed interest in the project. However, the acquisition and lifecycle cost of the AMOS with double 120mm gun mortars were too high. Trials in 2000 and 2001 on the 6x6 XA203 revealed that the turret was too heavy and such vehicles could not manage the recoil effectively. Consequently, Sweden left the program in 2009 due to financial constraints. Denmark and Norway, observer participants in the project, never ordered it. Although Finland ordered 24 units in 2003, Patria recognized that the AMOS lacked significant export potential due to high costs, complexity, and weight. On the other hand, a less expensive, simplified, and lighter version had a strong chance. In 2005, Patria launched the NeMo program as a private venture. From an early stage in the development, the Finns made the NeMo as simple as possible in the baseline configuration to reduce costs. Still, the modular design would allow additional features to be added easily on demand. Patria unveiled the new turret in 2006, mounted on an 8x8 AMV armored vehicle. That same year, the company successfully conducted its first fire trials. By late 2007, the NeMo's development phase was complete and the first production example was built for extensive verification and qualification trials. Slovenia became the first customer, ordering 24 turrets and 135 AMVs. However, the 2008 financial crisis forced the country to reduce its defense budget. After only 30 AMVs were delivered, Slovenia cancelled the contract. Many sources, including ours, believe the Slovenian ground force never received the turret, as no visual evidence is available. The subsequent deals were not happily ended either. By the 2020s, the NeMo has finally broken a leg, and the worthwhile export successes have come one after another. The NeMo is lighter than the AMOS, enabling integration with a wider range of chassis. The lower profile turret may permit transport by a C-130 Hercules, depending on the carrier vehicle. A machine gun and smoke grenade launchers can be added if required. The turret's basic structure withstands small arms fire and shell splinters. Its modular design allows for easy upgrades to ballistic protection. The angled turret and barrel reduce radar cross-section, while the barrel's thermal sleeve minimizes infrared signature and provides cooling for sustained firing. A vehicle-mounted NeMo can be ready to fire within 30 seconds after the carrier halts. It also enables fire-on-the-move capability. The stabilized turret maintains high accuracy against both moving and stationary targets. Turret traverse and weapon elevation are electronically controlled with manual backup for emergencies. The NeMo can be equipped with various fire control systems and a muzzle velocity radar based on customer requirements. Its 120mm smoothbore breech-loaded mortar is identical to that of the AMOS. The gun features a semi-automatic wedge breech lock and a hydro-pneumatic recoil mechanism. Loading is semi-automatic, the projectile is manually placed on the loading trays. The mortar can fire all standard NATO 120mm ammunition. Maximum range depends on the projectile and the number of charges, but typically exceeds 10,000 meters. Rocket-assisted projectiles can extend the range to 13,000 to 15,000 meters. The NeMo can also use the Saab Buffosh Dynamics Strix guided rounds against armored units. The munition's infrared imaging seeker discriminates and ignores targets already burning. Its standard range is 4,500 meters, extendable to 7,500 meters with a special sustainer motor. Its computer-controlled multiple-round simultaneous impact feature allows the NeMo to fire up to 3 rounds in a burst, all hitting the target at the same time. After completing a mission, a vehicle-mounted system can leave the firing position within 10 seconds, offering a significant advantage against counter-battery fire. The turret also provides direct fire capability up to 1,000 meters in day or night all-weather conditions. As no Western 120mm high-explosive anti-tank mortar round is available, this feature is intended for use against nearby infantry, soft-skinned vehicles, and bunkers rather than armored units. Depending on the mounting platform used, the NeMo can be operated by 2 or 3 people. The 360-degree turnable turret weighs 1,900 kilograms. The 3-meter-long barrel's elevation range is -3 to +85 degrees. The maximum rate of fire is 10 rounds per minute, and the sustained rate of fire is 6 rounds per minute. The mortar's maximum range exceeds 10,000 meters. A typical vehicle-mounted NeMo has a crew of 4, a driver, a commander, and 2 loaders who prepare and load ammunition trays located below the turret ring. Patria has widely presented the system at numerous defense exhibitions on the 8x8 AMV. The company has also fitted the Patria 6x6 with the turret. Slovenia had ordered 24 units for integration into its AMVs, designated locally as the SKOV Svarun, but later cancelled the project. Nevertheless, in 2024, the country ordered 106 XP variants of the vehicle, which may prompt reconsideration of the NeMo acquisition. Another potential customer was the UAE, which operated the AMV, but the country opted only for the containerized and navalized versions. The Saudi Arabian National Guard had ordered the NeMo for its Laos 6s, but the project appears to have been cancelled. Ukraine set to receive 200 AMVs, some of which will be mortar carriers. It is possible they will be equipped with the NeMo, but the M120 Rock is more likely since the vehicle will come from the Polish production line. In 2005, Hungary ordered at least 24 systems for installation on the Kf-41 Lynx. In 2025, Germany also selected the NeMo for its future mortar carriers based on the Patria 6x6. The agreement covers 69 systems with an option for 61 more. In 2024, the USA tested an AMPV variant equipped with the NeMo. The turret has been fitted to Lao, XA203, BVS-10, CV90, and Boxer for trials. Czechia and Spain are currently evaluating the NeMo for their modern mortar carrier requirements, so we might see it in the Pandeo 2, Ascot, and Prania 5 in the future. The NeMo Container is a plug-and-play version. Various platforms, including heavy-duty trucks, railways, and naval vessels, can transport it. The variant can also be fired while being carried or serve as an independent stationary firing unit at military bases. The container measures 6.1 meters long, 2.4 meters wide, and 2.6 meters high. It includes a 3-person crew cabin, a remote-controlled mortar turret, a loading device, a fire control system, and storage for 100 rounds of ammunition. The system features a water-cooled auxiliary power unit and can also operate on external power. The NeMo Container, equipped with CBRN filtration and air conditioning, weighs 11.4 tons. Its ballistic protection can be configured to meet customer requirements. Any vessel capable of carrying a 20-foot container can be fitted with the naval version of the NeMo Container. The Swedish Navy used this variant for trials on the Lättråspot fast supply vessels. The specialized naval variant uses the same core mortar system but is engineered to withstand harsh marine conditions and saltwater exposure by incorporating corrosion-resistant materials. It requires one weapon officer and two loaders in addition to the ship's crew. The system was tested on a Watercat M12 of the Finnish Navy, also known as the NeMo-class landing craft. The UAE Navy was the first customer installing the system on 6 Ganata-class boats designed by Swed Shipmarine and built by Abu Dhabi Shipbuilding. The Swedish Navy ordered 8 turrets, which will likely be mounted on newly built Stridsspot 2010s, originally developed for the AMOS turret. Conventional mortar carriers typically place the weapon in the crew compartment of an armored vehicle or on the rear of a truck. This configuration often results in partial or complete loss of ballistic protection for the crew during firing. Aside from individual equipment, these vehicles lack CBRN defense capabilities, and the design removes the option for direct fire. Many conventional mortar carriers lack automatic loading or laying mechanisms, which increases crew workload and reduces both accuracy and the rate of fire. The AMOS addresses all these shortcomings. Nevertheless, despite its superior tactical capabilities, its high cost, weight, and complexity have prevented it from achieving meaningful market penetration. Patria developed the NeMo to overcome this issue. However, initial marketing efforts for the new mortar were less successful than anticipated due to two main factors. In the 2000s and 2010s, the world was a hopeful place. Back then, many believed the war was a relic of an ancient, uncivilized world. The money should have been spent on social welfare. Many even believed that not only buying but also producing and selling weapons was barbaric. During this period, Slovenia cancelled its order due to financial constraints, and a corruption case involving Patria further contributed to this decision. Several of the company's transactions were subsequently subject to similar allegations. Would you think only the Finns were involved in the world's biggest corruption scandals, while other leading suppliers were completely innocent? The real reason was that their judicial systems weren't that interested in what was happening abroad as long as it brought in money. The Finns were too honest for such business. Since Canada was unwilling to sell armored vehicles to Saudi Arabia, which was obviously at war, how un-Western, the NeMo deal was also affected negatively. On top of that, the Finns did not want to sell their products to a country at war or to one under the threat of a war. Why would a country that was neither at war nor under the threat of war be interested in allocating its budget to acquire the NeMo? Then Putin rang the wake-up bell for both Finland and potential customers, put an end to the nonsense, and the fortunes of the NeMo have turned. Europe is now under the threat from both East and West and accepting the basic human condition rather than being the most civilized. The USA seems to have been well adapted to the new world for a long time. Since the beginning of this channel, we have marked our preference for the term the Second Cold War. Now, everyone is talking about the world moving toward the next step, the Third World War. In this new era, the NeMo is ready to meet the demands of armies that are rising again. Being a more effective solution than the previous generation mortar systems and being affordable makes its future brighter. At least, the other buyers of the Patria 6x6 and AMV, as well as the NeMo-class vessels, are now the potential operators of the NeMo. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments and shares.